Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. Tonight we are hearing for the first time from the family of a man shot while driving down I-40 East on Friday morning. This right here is 35-year-old Ricardo Baez Cardenas. His family says he was on his way to work when he was shot by a man he didn't even know. Today, the man is facing charges for his death. WRAL's Heidi Kirk is live off of I-40, and Heidi, Cardenas leaves behind 2 young children.
And Julian, it truly is heartbreaking. Just within the last hour, the Baez family welcomed us into their home as they're grieving this loss of life. Now, they tell us that he was actually making his way home from work on Friday right here on this very stretch of I-40 East when he was shot in his car. Now, we're about to show you some dash camera video of that shooting. We'll warn you, it is not easy to watch. Now, you can see here the broken glass spraying into the windshield before the shooter leaves the scene. Now, deputies arrested Josue Quintanillas Reyes for Baez's murder. Now, the Baez family says it's been powerful to see how the community is coming together to remember him, telling me that people they didn't even know knew him, speaking out on social media. But no one is more impacted than his kids, a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old.
How can you tell a 12-year-old that his dad is not going to make it for dinner? Do you have a good way to say that? No, I had to do it. And you know how tough that was?
Now, I hope that this video can bring a smile to your face. Now, this is a video of Baez. Now, his family says that he's remembered as being a singer in his family, not only a dad, but also a performer, really being the life of the party in pretty much every family gathering. It truly is heartbreaking that he's no longer with us. And of course, the man charged with his murder will be due in court tomorrow. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live off I-40.
Just so tough to hear. Well, we are tracking the possibilities of showers returning tomorrow. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione is here with a closer look at when and where the rain may fall. Anthony.
Julian, this is not going to be a big system for us. We really could use a lot of rainfall across the state, but where we sit at the moment and as we head into tonight, most of that moisture is down to the south. You can kind of see some of those pockets into South Carolina. This would likely be, I would say, the best coverage around Fayetteville and Clinton. Our southern counties, even up to Wake County, is kind of where we're looking at that coverage. About 40 to 50% through the day, meaning our northern counties likely will stay dry. And again, from Wake County down to the south, we see that rain. Here's Futurecast, though. So this is our next weather maker. We see that rain pushing in. Most of us looking at a dry morning commute. I do not expect a lot of rainfall as you're headed out the door in the morning, but you may want to have that umbrella with you just in case. Lunchtime, you can see some light rainfall for our southern counties. And again, it may try and get up to Wake County. Most of us there are seeing that rainfall continuing their scattered showers through the evening commute, and then it pushes out into tomorrow night. Not a big system for us, Julian. It does bring some rain. We're tracking the potential of some storms, though, into next weekend. We're going to have more details on that here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Anthony. This headline right here says it all. New today, NC State men's basketball coach Kevin Keatts has been fired after 8 seasons. Now, he helped guide the Wolfpack on a historic run to the Final Four just last year. WRAL sports reporter and anchor Luis Fernandez, he joins us now. And Luis, help put all of this into context for us.
Julian, context and nuance, that's what we're going to try and go with today. One season does not make or break a tenure, but let's go bird's eye view on this. Last year, NC State won 9 games in a row, getting to its first ACC tournament title since 1987 and its first Final Four appearance since 1983. Memories, banners, that will last a lifetime in Raleigh. Keatts was on the hot seat before that run started. Let's look at his tenure as a whole. 8 seasons, 151 and 113 overall, 69 and 84 in conference play, 3 trips to the NCAA tournament. The Wolfpack missed the NCAA tournament in 4 straight seasons under Keatts, and this year, miserable. 12 and 19 overall, 5 and 15 in the ACC, 0 and 11 on the road. NC State finished bottom 3 in conference, and because of an expanded ACC, won't make the conference tournament to defend their title. WRAL sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy puts it into perspective.
This is very much a dynamic business, and reaching the Final Four in one year doesn't guarantee you anything. We're seeing that at North Carolina. We're seeing it at Kansas. We're seeing it at programs all over the country where college basketball, college athletics has become a year-to-year proposition in many ways. And NC State decided Kevin Keatts wasn't the guy they wanted to try to rebuild this roster one more time.
Now, making that decision comes with a cost, a buyout. NC State owes Keatts for terminating his contract early. It'll be around $7 million or so. We're getting that exact number coming up here. One thing I want to emphasize, because I've seen some confusion online, Kevin Keatts did not sign a new contract extension this offseason. In his contract, a 2-year contract extension is triggered when he accomplishes things like winning an ACC tournament title or getting to the Final Four. So it was automatically extended. That also included about a $500,000 raise in supplemental compensation for making the Final Four. Coming up in sports, what's next for the Wolfpack and why Athletics Director Boo Corrigan is in a unique position.
Lewis breaking it all down for us. Thank you. The news of Keatts firing is getting plenty of reaction today from some high-profile people and Wolfpack fans. Megan Globa, she joins us now to share some of that. Megan.
Yeah, Julian, most notably, former NC State Athletic Director Debbie Yao praised Coach Keatts on X for his astonishing previous season and also writing, "Thank you for being a man of integrity no matter what obstacles you faced while at State. Whoever signs you out of the quote-unquote transfer portal will be blessed. Godspeed." We also spoke with Wolfpack fans at the ACC championship game in Greensboro today. Take a listen to what they had to say.
It's tough to see him go. I think a lot of the players like him. I think everybody likes his personality. A tough loss, but I'm hoping we can find somebody good.
We all love him. We wish the best for him. And wherever he goes, he'll do really well.
It's a very difficult situation, and you're under a lot of pressure in his position. And I do wish him, the best for the program and for him.
Yeah, we liked him, but we just didn't feel like he was carrying the team, and it was a little disappointing.
It's bittersweet to see him go, but I think it's time, to get someone new on campus and get the men's team, to maybe match what the women have done.
And back to Debbie Yao, Keatts also thanked her on social media for giving him the opportunity to lead the Wolfpack.
Thanks, Megan. I'm sure he will land somewhere soon. Well, let's go to this. The Duke Blue Devils are this year's ACC women's basketball champions, defeating the Wolfpack 76-62 in Greensboro. Coming up in sports, WRAL's Chris Lee has more on the title game. A man is dead after a stabbing in Durham that happened just this morning. Here's a closer look of that investigation scene. Police were called to Magnolia Tree Lane at around 10:30 this morning. There they found the man who had been stabbed, and he was pronounced dead on the scene. A neighbor shared what he knows about the family who lives in the home at the center of today's stabbing. Durham police say the suspect is in custody at this time. They are not releasing any more information, saying this is an active investigation. Let's go to this. WRAL is working to learn more about a sheriff's office investigation in Harnett County. Our breaking news tracker got this video of the scene on Woodbridge Drive in Spring Lake. There were multiple sheriff officer vehicles right there outside of the home, and deputies were seen outside of the house. We have reached out to law enforcement to learn more about what they are investigating. A fire in Fayetteville's North Hill subdivision left 4 people without a home today. We're talking about this fire that you're seeing right here. Firefighters responded to a call on McChowan Drive where they found flames shooting out of the 2-story house. Crews quickly brought the fire under control and found no one inside. The American Red Cross is now helping the displaced residents find temporary housing. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. An off-duty Raleigh police officer is recovering after a multi-vehicle crash on US 64 west of Zebulon. This is video of the WRAL breaking news tracker taken just after 6 this morning. According to State Highway Patrol, the officer was heading home when she hit a disabled vehicle. A third car then hit her. We are told she was seriously injured but is in good condition. We're still working to learn more about the other people involved in this crash. A friend becomes a hero.
I didn't know he was actually choking, so I just did my thing, which was a Heimlich.
I can't wait for you to see this story. We introduce you to a 9-year-old who jumped into action when his friend was choking on the playground. Plus, job cut pushback. Protesters gather in Raleigh. The message they have today for President Trump and Elon Musk about their treatment of the federal workforce. Welcome back. A local labor council held a rally today in support of public services. Protesters gathered at the Sanford Federal Building on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh this afternoon. The Trump administration broadened its effort to terminate thousands of probationary workers last month. Labor unions are pushing back, though, across the country.
It's your voices. It can't be just me and a handful of other people. It's got to be all of us. You got to show up, you got to speak up, because you got to make these legislators hear that these services are important and you don't want them to go away.
The Triangle Labor Council organized this rally. The council represents 35 local unions across our area. This story right here is all about friendship. A 9-year-old at a Raleigh charter school stepped in at the right time to help save a student from choking. The second grader was grasping and gasping for air, struggling to breathe before his friend took action. WRAL's Laura Levine sits down with the young hero and their parents about the stunning act.
The playground, where many good childhood friendships begin.
We became friends when we first met.
For Raleigh Oak Charter Academy students Jason Branch and Danye Moore, their bond grew even stronger during recess on the basketball court.
So last week we were playing basketball and he ate a granola bar, and then we started playing longer until he started choking.
The unbelievable moment captured on school surveillance video. You can see Danye in the dark colored shirt begin to bend over, struggling to breathe. Jason in white noticed immediately and came to his rescue, squeezing his abdomen to expel the food.
And then he was trying to say hold on, but he couldn't because he was choking. I didn't know he was actually choking. So I just did my thing, which was a Heimlich.
The 9-year-old did do his thing. He performed a life-saving technique without hesitation.
I learned that from YouTube.
The observant, quick learner became an instant hero in the eyes of his friend.
Can you tell me, how were you feeling when all of that was going on?
I felt surprised.
Jason's dad tells me he panicked when he initially saw a missed call from the school.
I've had to be called to the school before for him, but I was hoping this time it wasn't. I was like, oh my God, like, don't let this be this, and
here we go again.
Yeah, so I got the voicemail and he told me it was all good news, and I was like, cool.
A sigh of relief, and now the parents coming together, watching the video back for the first time, still in disbelief.
It was surprising, so I'm just thankful that, his friend was able to demonstrate that on him.
And while Danye is a 7-year-old with very brief words.
How did it feel to have a friend come and help you?
He lights up playing with his buddy once again. The beginning of a beautiful friendship that'll last a lifetime. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Don't you love everything about that story? Jason, you are the man. Now, Raleigh Oak Charter School also plans to celebrate Jason's act soon at the school. We can't wait to hear about that, and we want pictures when that happens. Let's bring Anthony back in. Anthony, we should be expecting showers this week, right?
Yeah, a little bit for us tomorrow, Julian. I think next weekend, though, kind of at this point when we're talking next weekend, for our Saturday show, or Sunday show, I should say, we may have some rain on the radar to talk about. But what we're looking at here for tomorrow, this is going to be a pretty, I would say, measly system as far as amounts are concerned, but we still are going to see some inconvenient rain. We start us off in the morning. There's a look at the percentages. I think most of us should be dry to start off. It's as we go through the day, some of those percentages start to go up 40 to 50% at most for us. And that is mainly from the Triangle to the south. Our northern counties are likely to stay totally dry. I don't think we'll see much rain getting up to, let's say, even Durham probably is going to be close to the northern edge of that. Here's Futurecast, so let's time this out. So you can see the rain push to the south there at 8 o'clock on our Monday morning. It gets closer to us, and then I think as we get to lunchtime through the afternoon, probably for the evening commute, it will likely be around. But you notice that very sharp cutoff. It's almost like when we get wintry systems where there's that cutoff between snow and pretty much nothing, or rain to the north. It's just going to be where we have some drier air up to the north, and then where the moisture is from Raleigh to the south. Scattered off and on rain showers through the afternoon, through the evening. It pushes out pretty fast. There's 11 o'clock tomorrow. tomorrow night, and we see this system getting out of here. Here's a pretty good summary for you. The best rain chances, not to say that Raleigh, for instance, is going to be totally dry, but the best rain chances by far are outlined there in the green. This may sneak a little bit closer to Wake County, but for sure, Fayetteville, I do think we're going to see some rain. Even Goldsboro, Clinton, likely to see some moisture tomorrow. Where we sit at the moment, though, we are nice and dry. 58 degrees is where we currently sit in Raleigh and Durham, 55 in Roxborough. Upper 50s for just about all of us, so a decently mild evening compared to where we should be for this time of the year. Our normal high is about 60, so we're a little bit below that. It'll be a chilly start tomorrow morning, though. We're talking temps in the low 40s there in Raleigh, 35 in Roxborough, 41 in Goldsboro, upper 30s also in Rocky Mount. We go through our day and kind of look at temperatures there, very similar to today. We should see a high right about 62 in the afternoon. Temperatures are not going to be freezing, so this is not going to be a getting your bones kind of chilly day with that rain. It's just going to be about where we should be for this time of the year, just some off and on showers, looking like a decent forecast overall. Then, looking ahead, I got to say, I'm looking forward to this forecast. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all of those temperatures in the upper 70s, at least as we get into Wednesday, there it starts to get in the upper 70s. Sunshine, relatively, comfortable conditions. We're not talking humidity levels off the charts. Pollen may start to go up, so that's not going to be great, but it is going to be a gorgeous stretch of weather before we get another system into next weekend. Look at where the Storm Prediction Center has outlined, keep in mind, not us at this point, but for a severe potential on Friday, this big risk right there, it shifts into the, let's say, Atlanta area, Memphis into Saturday. That may get extended a little bit farther there into portions of North Carolina, South Carolina. We will see, though. I think at this point, Sunday storms are going to be at least a potential. 73 on Tuesday, 78 Wednesday. Julian, we look ahead, 81 degrees on Saturday. It's going to feel warm.
Thanks, Anthony. Lewis, everybody's talking about Keats right now.
Yeah, Julian, coming up in sports, we're going to do plenty more on NC State head coach Kevin Keats being fired. What's next for the Wolfpack? Plus, the Women's ACC Tournament Championship celebration from the game in Greensboro between Duke and NC State when we return. NC State head coach Kevin Keats has released a statement after being fired. You can read the full thing on WRLSportsFan.com, but a couple of parts I want to highlight. He starts by thanking former Director of Athletics Debbie Yao, who hired him, saying, "We were able to guide the program through 5 years of investigations and penalties and came out on the other side with back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances and for the first time in 37 and 40 years, an ACC championship and a trip to the Final Four." He also said, "I wholeheartedly believe that I am leaving the program in better position to succeed than when I started and that the basketball program will continue to thrive when supported to the level necessary to compete." So what happens next? Well, the man who has all the answers is Athletics Director Boo Corrigan. Corrigan joined NC State in 2019. He was not the one that hired Keats. WRAL sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy makes an interesting point here.
He has been the AD since 2019. He has not hired a men's basketball coach, a women's basketball coach, a football coach, or a baseball coach. They were all in place before he got here and have remained. His first big chance to make an imprint on this, on the school, on the athletic department.
While all this is happening here in Raleigh, if we go just about an hour to the west, we'll be in Greensboro, where Duke and NC State are battling for an ACC women's basketball tournament championship. Let's get to the highlights. State started the game on a 7-0 run. Isaiah James, hot from deep, hits this three. Duke forces a timeout. The Pack led by as many as 14 points in the first half. Zoe Brooks hits this one from the outside, and NC State leads at halftime. Duke made adjustments in the second half. Taina Mayer leading the break. Alucia Kanawa gets the follow. 22 points off the bench for the tourney MVP. Duke dominated the boards 44-28, wins 76-62 in Greensboro. Let's go to WRAL sports anchor Chris Lee.
Duke head coach Kara Lawson said when she took over the program 5 years ago, they were the worst team in the ACC. Now, here in 2025, they're the best team in the ACC and the 2025 ACC tournament champions. The Blue Devils struggled to get out the blocks early, allowing the Wolfpack to get anything they wanted. But the second half was a different story. Duke picked up their defense and began getting easier looks at the basket thanks to great passing, finishing the game with 17 assists to only 8 for NC State. Now Duke wins their first ACC tournament championship since 2013.
What I told the group at halftime was when you play for a championship, you can't sit outside on the front stoop and wait for it to come in front of your house. You got to go get it. You have to go get it. You have to go take it.
Just last year against Ohio State, we were trailing by 16, halftime. The same mentality, the same understanding that we can come back from anything if we just lock in together.
NC State is a great team. They were a number 1 seed for a reason. Great team. We respect them so much. And just coming in, we had to just capitalize on ourselves.
The Wolfpack came out stagnant in the second half. Plus, they were outscored 33-0 from the bench. Now they head home to lick their wounds and prepare for the NCAA tournament.
And they're a great defensive team. They're a great rebounding team. And those things are what wins championships. And they hit shots today, too. When they do that, they can beat anybody in the country.
7 days from now will be Selection Sunday, and we'll find out if NC State, North Carolina, and Duke will all host for the first couple of rounds of the NCAA tournament. All 3 teams are expected to do so. In Greensboro, I'm Chris Lee, WRAL Sports.
Yeah, great report. Thank you. We'll see you later tonight.